Some people have built some strange homes just to get revenge.
Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning.
Revenge is a dangerous thing. It can consume your life, especially if it involves building a home in order to get said revenge. Today we are going to talk about spite homes. Yes, there are people who have invested time, energy, and money into constructing a permanent domicile just to exact revenge on someone else.
And we're gonna go through some of the most famous ones.
There's some really ridiculous results when you really try to get the best of somebody via a home. Right off the bat, in the 1950s, two Virginia City, Nevada neighbors
That's confusing.
got in a dispute.
Just being at Virginia City in Nevada.
Right. They were probably just upset about
Where
that.
are we? What state? What city?
So they got upset about that. They were confused. They didn't know where they were, and they started taking it out on each other. One guy built a house. The other guy bought the lot right next to it and built his house right there to block the view and the breeze. 12 inches away. That's literally how close? Look at that.
A foot.
His house is from the other house. This is a classic spite home, and they're both there to this day. People live in both homes, and they're not actually angry with each other.
But you gotta ask yourself, if you're angry at a dude, and then you build the house a foot from his house, your house is also a foot from his house.
I mean, that's
you know what I'm saying?
That's
You're a foot from each other.
That says a level of spite, but I think he built it that close so he could just reach out and choke the guy when he was like brushing his teeth.
Okay. This one, the Alameda Spite House, has less to do with a dispute between two neighbors and is more a dispute between a man and a town.
Oh, really?
At the turn of the 20th century, there's a guy named Charles Frawling, and he was planning to build his dream house on this lot that he had. But lo and behold, the city decided, we gotta put a street through there. And I guess this is in the days where they would just kind of do that without asking. So they put a street through his lot, or basically took up most of his lot. And out of spite, he built a house that was 10 feet deep and 54 feet long. You can see it right here.
It looks like it's teetering over the street, as if to say, if you choose to drive here, my house could fall on you to teach you a lesson.
Yeah,
I mean, that's spite.
He kind of gets out over the street. I mean, and I gotta, again, is it worth it? Because he wanted to build his dream house. This is now his dream house. I mean, this is the kind of thing where maybe if his dream is to constantly be in that situation where you are walking and another person is walking and you don't know which way to go, if that's his idea of a dream, that probably happens all the time in this house.
No, this totally makes sense to me. I mean, have you ever been having a dream and you woke up in the middle of it?
I don't understand.
It was a half of a dream house.
Oh!
You really didn't understand?
No.
I just thought you thought it was like such a cheesy joke that you were gonna let me off the hook.
I get it now.
I don't understand. I know it couldn't have been a cheesy joke.
Did y'all get that joke?
Let's take a trip to Boston,
Chase
shall we?
didn't get it.
44 Hull Street, a 4-story house squished between two apartment buildings. Look at this thing. It is indeed the skinniest house in Boston. The outside dimensions range from 10.4 feet, that's 3.2 meters, and it tapers in the back down to 9.25 feet, 2.82 meters in the rear.
It's a pie shape.
Inside, the narrowest it gets is 6.2 feet across. Like
I couldn't even have a bed in there.
No, I could not extend.
I'd have to be in the fetal position just to sleep.
Because I'm 6 foot tall. Here's the story behind this one. Back in 1874, two brothers are having it out with one another. The father dies and they're given a plot of land. One son goes off and to do some into the military while the other son stays home and builds his house on the majority of the property. Just takes basically all of it for himself.
Let me guess, he leaves about 10 feet or so.
10 point something feet. Yeah, so his brother comes back, has no other inheritance and says, well, I'm gonna build my sliver of a home right here, just to spite his brother, or respite his brother. The funny thing is, the only house that remains is the spite house.
Right, those are like apartment buildings.
They built apartments around it, but the spite house endured, and an architect lives in it.
Well, that's the thing. What once was a spite house is now the cool house to have your business in.
Well, no, he and his wife and their 4-year-old daughter live in the house, And then in the backyard, people will just come in there and start taking photos. And say, oh, I'll be out in a second. I'm just let me take a few photos, like it's a tourist destination. That's what they said.
Should charge for it.
They should charge for it.
I have a brother. He's never been in the military, but if he ever goes off in the military, I'm going to go on his property and build a little. Well, no, I build a big house.
Huge house.
The big house. Yeah, I got to get this straight.
Right.
I got to get this plan
Don't
straight.
start with the spite house first.
Okay, sometimes it's not just about building a house, but it's about modifying your house out of spite.
Okay.
So back in 2001 in Lubbock, Texas, there was a city ordinance that was instituted that prohibited more than 2 unrelated people living in the same house. You know how it is, college town. Lubbock, Texas is a college town. And you have these houses with like multiple people living in them. Apparently, it's like a college situation where they're causing a lot of trouble. And so the city decides to pass this ordinance where you can't have more than 2 people who are related to each other. So that basically means these big college houses are out of luck.
Right.
So they issue this citation and then they enforce it on this one house in Lubbock where incidentally, one of the students who lived there was named Brian Bosworth. This is not the Brian Bosworth from the 1980s who played in the NFL and was also in the 1991 movie Cold Stone and had an incredible mullet and flat top combination.
He had a spite haircut.
He was amazing.
He had that haircut just to spite everyone who looked at it.
Really?
Yeah, that's how bad
It
it
all
was.
comes full circle. But
Yeah.
this wasn't him.
So they wanted to all live together. They weren't allowed to, so what do?
So the landlord, out of spite, paints the house purple. You might say, okay, that's not that big of a deal. But then she paints black polka dots on it. And then she paints yellow polka dots on it. And then she makes smiley faces on some of the polka dots.
It's like the house has a disease.
Well, she ends up backing down, unfortunately.
Oh,
she
no,
was having
really?
some health issues and the town was giving her the runaround. So she ends up backing out of this thing and repaints the house. So she kind of gave up, but it was cool while it lasted, the polka dot house.
Okay, I'll bring it back up with another polka dot house. Stan Pike had a nice home in Avondale Estates in Georgia. You've heard of Avondale Estates.
Oh yes, they have estates there.
I hadn't heard of it, but I actually street viewed it. That's how committed I am to research for you guys. And you know what? It's a pretty nice neighborhood. But he wanted to build
Usually that's a trailer park, just so you know. Like Avondale Estates is usually a trailer park in North
Right,
Carolina.
that's why I street viewed it. It is like a nice neighborhood.
Okay.
The guy wanted to build a nice rounded porch on the rounded edge of his house, kind of like a wraparound porch. He was denied by the local Historic Preservation Commission, who said the porch didn't fit the neighborhood's look. I guess a
What?
historic
wasn't historical
neighborhood?
enough. That wraparound porch is not historical.
So instead of putting up the wraparound porch in protest, he instead paints his house this lime green yellowish color and puts purple polka dots on it.
Apparently people think polka dots are very offensive. I kind of like
They're
them.
not good for a house.
I mean, look at my shirt.
I mean, they make historic preservation commissions really upset. The cool thing is all of the neighbors, they got behind him. They started putting purple dots on their homes.
Oh.
Victory.
Maybe it was contagious.
For the spite.
It was the house has got measles.
The mayor overruled the decision and he was allowed to create his wraparound porch. So he repainted his house. And so positivity from a spite home. There we
Okay.
go.
This one I think is the coolest of all. In 2006 in Seattle, developers were building a shopping mall and there was some houses there they need to get rid of. They bought everybody out and there was this one woman, they offered $1 million to Edith Macefield.
So $1 million to eat it. Eat
her,
what?
For her 1,000 square foot home.
That's a pretty good deal.
Okay, small home. She refused to leave because she'd been living in there for 50 years. And so what did they do? They built the mall around her house. Now,
Oh man,
if you're
they did everything but build over top of it.
If you're a fan of a movie called Up by Pixar, you might know this is exactly what happens in that movie. And this, it is said, it hasn't been confirmed, but it is suspected that this is the inspiration for Up. That explains why during the Up promotion for the movie Up, they actually put balloons on the house.
Well, in fairness, they didn't put enough balloons. They undersold their own
Well,
movie.
they don't want the house to actually go up in the air. You know, you saw Up, didn't you? That's what happens, brother, when you do that.
Good point, brother.
But there's a really cool story here between the relationship that she had with the guy who was actually building the mall. He wrote a book about what he learned from her, and he ended up buying the house from her after
Really?
she died, or she gave the house to him after she died of cancer. And then somebody else bought it, now it's foreclosed on. But newsflash, it's up for auction. You can go and buy this house right now. And Link, I think you should. There's a Trader Joe's like literally 10 feet from it.
In the mall.
And there's a 24-hour fitness like 10 feet from it also.
I'll weigh my options, but guys, put away the revenge. Come on, let's channel positivity into polka dots on other things.
Positivity
okay?
into polka dots.
Thanks for liking and commenting on this video.
You know what time it is.
Hi, my name's Alyssa.
And I'm Talia. And I'm Emma.
And we're from Oklahoma.
And it's
Time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
We are teaching you very important life lessons in 2 easy steps on our Twitter, twitter.com/RhettandLink. You should check it out.
Follow us! Click through to Good Mythical Morning where we share our neighbor nightmare stories.
Neighbor night.
Throwing a little peep in Tom's story.
Contemplating pit stains. Pit stains.
Pit stains. Never thought about those before. If I said it wrong by accident, it would be sit pains.
Sit pains? Talking about hemorrhoids?
That's what those are? Or if a guy who drives a taxi that has a lemon on the side of it lives there.
Oh, lemon taxi.
He parks there a lot.
Yeah, those are
It
bad.
looks like it's like lemonade taxi.
Lemon, yeah.